up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. Today we have a special guest on the show, Leonarda, Jonie. She has over 1 million followers across social media platforms, 300,000, and she even tours, and you do comedy.
I do. Yeah, I do.
And I think she's the only woman alive that's funny.
Wow, that's a high accolade. This is probably a good time for me to come out and tell everybody I actually am trans, so that's why all my jokes are funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming.
Well, thanks for having me.
You were so great on the Hodge twins.
Yeah, the Hodge twins, shout out to those half-black fellers. Together, between the two of them, there's like a white man in the room.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
So when I was watching you on that show, you said you went from being liberal to conservative.
You know, I wouldn't say I went from being liberal to conservative.
Okay.
I would say I went from liberal to being a far-right extremist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that journey?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I talked about this a bit, but I grew up in New York. I was a New York liberal. I liked feminism a lot. And it made sense to me because I came from a culture that really was very disrespectful towards women and didn't value their contributions.
Where?
Albanian.
Oh, really? They don't,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know much about Albania.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they're pretty cool. But there's some things, but you know, now that I see what happens when women get rights, I'm kind of like, oh, I understand why you do this, you know. But I meant also they kind of just didn't really value their contributions because most women in Albanian cultures are home centered.
Okay.
And
you didn't like watching that, or?
I didn't like that it wasn't valued.
Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't value the women at home.
Yeah, or in any kind of respect, you know. But that has changed, especially like being in this modern world, and they see how horrible other non-Albanian women are, that they're like, oh, we have a good deal. Like, my wife just wants to raise the kids, and she wants to cook.
They see the women shaving their heads.
They're like, you know what? And they really are like, now I see things with a different view, and part of that is because that has changed, and part of it's because I've changed, and they do value them, and I can see the ways that they value them is different than maybe what I was taught in school about how men are supposed to value women.
So did your mom stay home and your dad work?
No. Both of my parents worked.
Okay.
I mean, they were immigrants. We didn't have that luxury of like somebody stays home, and you know, even this whole kind of like. You know, when they kind of push this sort of trad LARP thing that we've talked about, right? Where women...
It's like live stream your baptism. Yeah.
I mean, that's just really fake because it's never been the case that women haven't worked in a capacity or that wasn't, you know, something that was valued. Like, you know, my grandmother would be, quote unquote, a trad wife, and she's telling me about how when she was 13, she's helping her father plow the fields and sow the seeds of corn and doing this manual labor.
Thank God I wasn't born in that time.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it was good. I think this kind of labor kept women from being whores. Because when you're spending all your energy out there, you know, raising, didn't help everyone though. They were still whores, you know. You're spending all this energy trying to survive and take care of your children and, you know, plow the fields and carry the water and carry the lumber. You don't really have a lot of energy left for extracurricular activities.
You'd be surprised. Whores always find a way to whore.
Yeah, but I think we're in a different situation now.
There's more opportunity. You can just like DM someone on Instagram.
It's not just that. Yeah. It's this idea that there is no such thing as being a whore anymore that's happened. Like, it's just, you're just being a modern person. You're just, well, not even, you're just being normal, right? And so even within the minds of women who would have in another period of time been good women, it doesn't count as something to be looked down upon and not, you know, to be avoided, that kind of behavior, because the culture is saying there's nothing to be ashamed of. So then it doesn't even factor into a lot of modern girls' minds that, yeah, maybe I don't want to just sleep around.
No, I think they want to. I think like there's nothing, you cannot stop a whore from whore. I interviewed like 1,000 of them when I was in England.
Nice.
And they
You
love whoring.
Wait. You interviewed 1,000. When you say whores, like prostitutes who pay?
Sorry, 1,000 people.
1,000.
A good chunk of them were like OnlyFans.
OnlyFans girls. Yeah. So that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not. Look, the truth is,
Yeah.
if you want to be a whore,
Oh, they'll whore.
you'll find a way.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is a sizable portion of the female population, because women go with what the tribe says.
Mm-hmm.
So the tone of behavior is set by the tribe. And through generation, throughout time, historically, for the most part, the tribe has set a standard of behavior that chastity was to be valued, right? Morality, loyalty, fidelity, these things were to be valued. And so the plethora of sheep-like women, there are sheep-like men too, right? Most people are, they need to follow, would stay within the confines of the culture because the culture said this is what you do, right? Now that's completely gone. You're not even allowed to say that because you're being misogynistic, you're being oppressive, you're backwards, you're a fascist. And so these women who are sort of in the middle, who are going to go with the temperature, are steering towards whoredom because that is the mainstream now.
I know, isn't it crazy how normalized OnlyFans and sugar babying got in the last 5 years?
It's insane.
And in the city we're in, I won't say which one, I've asked people just anecdotally, what % of attractive women do you think are a sugar baby in some form? What do you think the most common answer I've gotten is out of 10? 10 attract, because it doesn't count if you're ugly. Like
right.
No guy's trying to make
so
you
what
a sugar baby.
what percentage of women,
attractive women,
like women
under 25?
What percent? When we say attractive, you mean like 7 and above?
6+. I'd say under 25, 6+.
Under 25, 6+. What percentage are on OnlyFans or a sugar baby?
Yeah,
25%.
Anecdotally, just asking around, people said half in the city. Isn't that crazy?
Wait. You asked them if they were.
No, I asked, okay, so I've gone around since I've moved here and just asked people anecdotally. I find sometimes this is more accurate than studies, not always.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
It's going to give you insights in ways that, because you know how it is, whenever there's information that makes women look bad, they always want to hide it.
Who's they,
Well,
Pearl?
I know what you would say. I would say the female dollar.
We have differences of opinion, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, to me, that's crazy that half of women.
So half of the women that you polled said they were.
Or men. I said, of the women you know in this age bracket, what % would you say? And everyone's telling me.
Now, how many of them are saying what % they think are in it versus what % of people do they have that they know are in it?
I said they know.
That they know.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. That is pretty sad. It's devastating, actually.
Yeah. And I think it's because women keep going to college and we get these degrees that make no money. And so,
Right.
And now you can get an old guy to pay for it who's just taking you on dates. Maybe you hook up with him once a month. Now
so
you don't
gross.
have college debt.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do remember when I was single, like a few years ago, one friend of a friend, she met her husband through sugar babying.
No way.
Yeah. And I just was kind of like, that's so gross. And then she was like, you guys should just do it. Like, just make an account. You don't have to do anything. This is like, here was this was an interesting thing that she said, though. She said, this would never work for me because I'm very like, quick to plead, like, what can I do for you? And feel very like, oh my God, I owe you. You know what I mean? Like, you get me a thing of water and I'm like, oh my God, I owe you. So this would never work for me.
Okay.
Right. But apparently some women are very good at like demanding things. And something about when they go on these sugar baby platforms where these guys are like automatic buyers, they have to buy in, it sets their status higher in some way. And then they because they're saying like, I have a certain worth, a certain dollar worth, and you can't buy in unless you have it. It didn't really make any sense to me. And I was like, yeah, this just sounds like a trap. And I would feel disgusted. So I declined.
Yeah, a lot of whores end up getting married. High-end escorts, a lot of them end up marrying one of their clients. It's pretty common.
So wouldn't you say this is also men's fault?
You could argue that maybe a small percentage, but like at large, most men aren't getting laid like that.
Most men aren't getting laid like that. But how would these women be able to do this if there weren't men giving them money?
Well, what percent of men are doing that? Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Like most men are sexless. A third of men are virgins or haven't had sex in the past year.
Well, we
So-
can't. It's not nice to talk about groypers like that. Most men haven't had sex, and women are out whoring it up for money.
No, I mean, it's not really guys' fault though. I think they're just responding to the market. Women fought for 100 years to be whores, and now we
That's
have
what it seems like. I see when I was like
that's what feminism is. They're like, how can we be the biggest, as big of whores as possible?
You
I
know,
want to abort my kid up to birth, and
I
they're
gotta
like, women
say-
are nurturing, and we're like, abortion the day before.
when I was in my feminist phase, I was not fighting for my right to be a whore or for abortion. I kind of just put abortion sort of in this category. You know, I believed all the stuff. My whole thing when I would think about abortion, it was all the talking points that they used to tell you, right? What about the and the incest babies? And you feel a huge sense of injustice because it's like being twice, right? Now you got to carry the child of this, you know, God forbid they're a different color, right? So that would be a completely violation. Although now I kind of have a little bit of a different understanding where it's like, it's not the baby's fault that did this, but that was what the talking points were, right? So anytime I would think about that abortion in those ways, that's where I put that category. Now I realize that's less than 1% of all abortions. But my feminist thing was like, you know, I wanted to be able to accomplish things, work, contribute. It really felt this sense of like, hey, I don't feel fulfilled. I want to be able to use
But in
these
a way,
skills.
that's whoring because you're putting off getting married by working and doing
Well,
this.
we got to be careful about slippery slopes around words, right? Whoring specifically is, you know, trading sex for things of monetary value in some extent.
Well, I mean, if you want to be specific, we could say.
Still, that would involve sex being put on the table.
I mean, I would say it's multiple partners because, again, in the past it was one person for life. Now it's multiple people. That's why I say all women are whores to some degree.
By Albanian standards of just last year, all women are whores,
Yeah.
modern wise, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, not all. You know, I have women in my life who got married to the guy they married.
I mean, how old are they?
Well, they got married in their 20s, yeah, for sure. Married in their 20s. I mean, look, I preserved myself until 25, which was really holding out, you know. But then again, I had the fear of death put in me by my father. So, beat your children, is what I have to say about this. But you know, my conceptions of feminism were not about sex and abortion. They were. I really believed we're going to be able to do
But if you
things.
look at the biggest, I'm not saying you, but if you look at the biggest
but-
marches, it's like march, abortion,
But what I've come, one of the things that sort of took me out of that was looking at what they were actually fighting for and being like, wait a second, this isn't okay, right? And then, but there's more than that too, you know, like women don't understand these lies that they believe and that they also, most women, some women are quite evil and know exactly what they're doing. And what they're really doing is a mating strategy to keep younger women locked into the same narrative that destroyed their lives, because if I'm not going to have kids, hell if I'm going to let some younger have them and have happiness. So a lot of my stuff is trying to like talk to younger women and be like, hey, look at the women who are giving you advice. Do you want what they have? If the answer is no, don't listen to them. So when Kim Kardashian comes out with her now pubic underwear that she's advocating and her nipple bras, and you go, oh, do I want to be a single mother of a bunch of mulatto children when the father is hardly around? Well, because she doesn't let him, right? Is that what you want? Don't be like, oh, she's got billions of dollars. And you're not going to get billions of dollars, okay? You're not part of the PSYOP. So if you don't want that, don't listen to her. I think most women don't actually know what's in their heart of hearts, because I think that if you're not a whore, you're not an evil person. We love children, and we find.
Oh God, no, we do not love children.
I love children. I know many women who love children.
But a third of women have aborted their kids. So if you look at what we're doing, it's not really screaming, "I love children." You know.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So let me say this: the nature of a woman and the nature of a man are what they are idealistically, right? Those things can be corrupted. So the nature of a man is to provide and protect. I have dated and even married men who completely ran contrary to their nature and looked to me to provide and protect. That is an inversion, and it led to misery and unhappiness, not just for me, but for them too, right? They became kind of goblin-like creatures who were just, were trying to suckle the life out of a woman, completely inverted, right? So,
because you worked? Or you were the main breadwinner?
Yeah, I was the main breadwinner, and then they would try to find, these are kind of sleazy guys, right? You don't realize it when you're younger, which is when it,
Well, you're picking more alpha fucks when you're younger. It's more the physicality generally.
No.
That's when, just in general, I'm not saying you.
Yeah, no, I had low self-esteem.
I don't have a list of your exes, so I don't know.
I
don't need them.
Here's the thing.
Okay,
if I showed you a picture of my ex-husband, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
But it's usually you see women when they're younger, you go for streamers. Nowadays, it's celebrities. Streamer. It's men that aren't generally going to commit. And women don't generally go for the guys that are going to commit until they have to, late 20s, early 30s.
That's strange
generally,
to me. Yeah. No. This was, I got married, but there is a portion of men in the world, this has been true historically, who because they are corrupted, and they're looking to a woman to provide for them. And it's pretty sick, and they're sickly creatures, right? But the nature of a man, what a man is supposed to be, is still true. And when men fall in alignment with that nature, they become what they're supposed to be. They are actually more pronounced. They walk with broader shoulders. There's self-esteem, and they look better too, right? So you have a choice. It is still true that the nature of a woman is to birth, nurture, and take care of children. And that when she is in alignment with this, she will find the most fulfillment, happiness, and joy. There are women who do this, and you can see they are more feminine, right? They are more pleasant to be around. They look better. Then there are plenty of women who have completely turned their back on their nature, and they are trying to become men. Or at least what they're told men are supposed to be.
But stated preferences versus revealed preferences. Have you heard that?
Yes.
So what people say they want versus what they do. I try not to look at what people say they want or they say they are. I look at their actions.
I don't think any women are saying that they want to be mothers and raise kids. Which women are saying that? They're all out here saying they want to be a boss.
Well, I would say there's certain segments of the right that maybe say that women are nurturing, like you just said, and just from my opinion, I don't think women are. I think men are the nurturing gender because all evidence suggests they raise better children. If there's an infanticide, meaning the kid's killed within the first year, the police don't even look for a man because it's always a woman. The women are throwing their kids in dumpsters. Women are aborting women are fighting to kill their kids the day before it's born. So I'm if we're so naturally nurturing, where's the evidence?
Well,
even in the 1700s, there's bones found in bathhouses in Greece. Women, of babies. Women have been killing babies. I don't think it's a coincidence that the infant mortality rate from the 1800s is the same as the abortion rate today. I don't think it's a coincidence. That's me speculating, but
I would say that is speculation because we didn't have a lot of the medical advancements that we have. But if it was true, then how did we make it as a species?
Well, because men used to have the leverage, and now they don't.
Right, but if a woman if a woman wanted to kill her babies, and get away with it, she could, and we haven't been doing it. If we had, it's just not true because we had been that way.
In the 1800s, it was not uncommon for women to kill their kids within the first year. It was just, it's very...
Wait, okay, so hold on. Let's talk about, it wasn't uncommon for which women where, and where are you getting
in
your
the
data
United
from?
States,
In
Dr.
the United
David
States.
Baker.
And you get it
Dr.
from,
David,
okay.
he wrote the history of sex. And so that's my source.
That's your source. Well, my source is the Albanian people,
Okay.
and that this is a really unheard of phenomenon. And any woman who did not take care of her children or was not naturally mothering was known immediately and pretty much shunned and looked down upon. So I had a great relative who was like this, and everybody would talk about it. And what was contrasted was her sister, who was so nurturing and taking care of her children and praised and valued. And the idea that women would not be loving and nurturing towards their children is so foreign to what I come from that it's unfathomable to me.
Well, is abortion banned there? Or it's not? Because I
don't think it's banned.
I've heard this a lot in the last few years, but every time I look up the actions and not the words, it seems like it's not the picture people are painting me, because I'll always look up age of first marriage. I'll look up number of children and abortion rate. And I haven't seen any countries in Europe that are significantly lower. I don't know Albania off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, we didn't have abortion, when my
Yeah.
mom was growing up or whatever. That wasn't a thing. That wasn't a common thing. And
Like
but people got married younger, and that was just true. People got married
Yeah.
younger across the board.
No, I just meant like today. Is it bad there now or what?
Is it bad in which way?
Well, I just meant, do they have abortion there now?
I don't know actually, but I don't. I know that it's not a big thing. I know that if some girl just wanted to come around and be like, "I got pregnant, I want to have an abortion," we would all be like, "What the?"
Yeah.
And especially not with it. I mean, there could be a girl, even if she got pregnant with an Albanian outside of marriage, it would be like, yeah, you're not. That's one of ours. Like, you don't kill that, and nobody's really going to encourage it. But if she got pregnant, let's say, with a Dominican's baby. We might look the other way.
No, when it comes to abortion, I think it's a lost cause, unfortunately. Personally, I would never have an abortion. I think it's wrong. I was arguing about abortion from the time I was 12.
Oh, yeah.
But I've kind of seen the pro-life movement the last decade is kind of useless. Like, it's just something women are never going to give up.
Abortion.
Yeah.
I don't know if
We
you
have
know
too much
this.
power.
I don't know if you know this, Pearl, but the women who have the greater proportion of abortions are minorities.
Yeah. There's nothing
Look,
you can
here's
do.
the thing. I respect a person of color's right to choose. And I'm not going to enforce white supremacist values and ideals on the color community because they have had enough. I will enforce the restriction of women's rights to white women pregnant with white children. Because I can only be a fascist with white people, but I respect people of color's rights to completely end their genetic line if they want to. So, what can I say?
Okay. Well, what do you think about it being like a lost cause, though?
Listen,
Like, I don't see it going away in our lifetime. Do you?
I
could hope, but I don't.
Well, I think this is a great time for me to announce that I have started a political party, and I am running for chancellor. And I will do away with all women's rights and all minorities. So would you like to vote for me? That's the compromise, right?
Yeah.
I'll take away abortion, but we got to get rid of your boyfriend, Pearl. Are you voting for me?
I'm okay, but
You're not going to vote for me. See? So you are the woman problem that you're talking about. I was saying that I'm going to get rid of abortion, but you have to give something up.
Well, I just think it's not pragmatic,
It's not
women's right. It's like a fun conversation, but women's rights they're here to stay.
They're not going to go away.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're not.
I used to sell T-shirts that say women shouldn't vote.
Yeah, that's not going to go away.
Yeah.
That's not going to go away. And it's not going to go away really until there's a collapse and we have to restart everything all over again. And then the men will take charge because everything will be a mess.
But we'll be like almost dead by the time
We
happens.
will maybe be dead. It could happen in the next few years. You know, gold is at $4,200 right now.
I've been a conservative a little longer than you.
You have.
Yeah. So I've kind of just seen how these things play out over time, where it's like 5 years ago, they were selling us the same thing, like it was going to get better. And now,
I'm not saying it's going to get better. I'm saying things are going to collapse. That's what I think.
Yeah.
You know, which often happens when you give women rights. But is it correlation, causation? I think it's a little bit of both. You know, you know, I don't know if you know this, but black men got the right to vote before women.
I know.
It was quite a while before women. So I'm not giving up my right.
Yeah. Well, we have to outvote these liberal women. That's what they always give me shit because they're like, oh, you vote. But I'm like, well, someone has to cancel out the liberal women.
Right.
I would get rid of it if it was up to me, but it's not. So.
You would get rid of a woman's right to vote.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know how much I can say on your show.
I mean, it's recorded, so
you guys
we can put it on the website. If there's anything that's not YouTube friendly, we'll just put it on the website.
Oh, that's fine. I don't really care. It's about you. I don't want you to. I know you've suffered much from the censors, so I don't want. You know, I can be a little edgy. It's just not going to happen.
So why do women still vote Democrat? Even because in New York, that one girl got burned alive on the train.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, why would the men help her?
It's the same
when it's like it's the same reason I actually want more women or more men in women's sports. Because I was an athlete. I played overseas. But there was a tournament where we had trans people in our tournament. I never thought it would happen to me, and then when I was overseas, it actually happened at a tournament. Now these trans people are in our locker rooms, and I'm going around, hey, let's complain to the tournament director. Hey, I'm going to video this, and we can talk about it online, whatever. And all the women are yelling at me. So I'm like, screw you guys. Go get hit in the face. I don't care. And I think that's how men feel about protecting women. It's like, why should they protect women when we keep voting for our own destruction? You know, for every one woman that speaks out about the trans stuff, there's 10 women that vote for it or push it or accept it. You know?
This was true there too. This was true in that group that I was in.
Yeah.
Here it was, a women's only meeting. Suddenly the trans agenda starts taking place. And what do you know? We got a trans woman in the crowd. And now I'm there talking about all the shame I felt when I got my period at 13. And she goes, yeah, I can relate. I felt the same way when I got my period at 35, which was really just my butthole bleeding because they had to, you know what I mean? I'm joking now, but it's like nobody stood up and was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is for women
Yeah.
who are maybe dealing with psychological scars from people who look like this one here claiming to be one of us. And we should be having a protective safe haven so you can understand that all of this shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
All of this talk about we're here to protect women is bullshit. It's a bunch of brainwash, and women are not known for their courage or their spine or their ability to stand up. So you shouldn't expect anything else from them. And this is why they should not be in positions to determine the political agenda of a country because they're not the ones who are going to fight it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I think that the only solution to feminism, though, is more feminism. Women have to get the consequences of your actions.
Well, it's starting to happen.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it is starting to happen. I mean, you know, I'm going to keep fighting because I believe I want I want Western and white civilization to survive and persevere. And I have been woken up from the same stupor that I was in. And really, you know, to answer this question about why would people do this, it has to do with you really need to understand the depths of psychological manipulation and brainwashing that we have all been subject to for at least the last 80 years, probably more than that. I mean, you know, your audience probably doesn't care about the 1913 Federal Reserve Act, but you can pretty much trace every globo homo feminine bull crap propaganda to the start of that, because what it did was create a huge siphon of wealth that could fund all of these agendas that are really just meant to undermine white Christian Western civilization is the truth, right? So why would women be in this group talking about the abuse and the getting harassed?
They can't give up power. They want to be 100% in control of who's born. That is a lot of power. I don't think it's brainwashing. I think it makes perfect sense.
Can you explain?
Well, people tend to do what's in their best interests. And
How is that? Well, okay, yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of power, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the right thing or that it's good, but being 100% in control of who is born is a lot of power for one group.
But didn't we always have that? Because we could say, no, I don't want to have your children.
I would say it was different with the advent of the birth control pill. Because marriages were arranged before. So, I mean, yeah, like they could say yes or no, but to some extent you had a lot of pressure riding on the women to like accept the arranged marriage because both of the families are involved. It's a big thing.
Right.
And so now, women, once there's a conception, women get to pick if the kid is brought into the world or not. And that's a lot of power, so it makes sense. I'm not saying it's good, so I try to avoid good, bad.
No,
I just try to, predict. But now this last election, women said, do you know what? Almost dying, I think, might be worth giving up abortion.
Well,
Getting punched in the face in Chicago, burned alive on a train.
But listen, I'm going to tell you it from the perspective of somebody who was in that worldview. I wasn't thinking of it like, and maybe I'm different, but I know a lot of women from that point of view. They perceived it, like basically what they perceived was somebody's going to me and I'm going to be forced to carry their child, and that's a violation of my boundaries. And that is really, if you look at the campaigning around abortion, that's constantly the thing that's thrown in there, right? And now it's come to a place of like, well, I just want to, they're actually openly celebrating. But because they advanced the agenda, right? The way they got it in the door was this baby thing, right? Once they succeed in that, now they just go to, well, you should just have full autonomy all the time which I think is insane.
It's insane.
And, you may not win to go to no abortion, but I think you absolutely can impose, like, at the very least,
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Which already, like, what?
I think we should just cut a deal 3 months. Let's never argue again.
Pretty much.
And I think it's wrong. Like, I had a brother I found out about when I was older who was, like, given up for adoption.
Ugh.
Yeah, so I don't, like, my parents, they just got pregnant really young. And I think they didn't know if they were going to stay together or whatever. So, for me personally, I think it's wrong, especially when I got to meet my brother when I was older. But I've just argued with the women. And I don't know. I don't think they're brainwashed. I think they just like having the power. What I've observed with interviewing people, I think a lot of time retrospectively, maybe people want to think about it that way. But when I interview people making those choices, I think it's just women want to have fun. So they want to go to the cities. They want to party. They want to go to college.
But that to me that to me is ignorance and sadness, because I've known women who've had abortions, right? And this is another one, right? I knew a woman who was pregnant in this women's meeting, and I didn't know she was pregnant until after she'd already had the abortion, because she was like still having kind of a pregnancy body, and she was talking about, anyway. Apparently, she was coming to this meeting every day. She'd gotten pregnant with some guy that she was having an affair with. And she was going back and forth. I don't know if I should keep it, blah, blah, blah. And all of the lunatics were like supposed to be God-oriented, right? About you've got to check in with what's right with yourself and blah, blah, blah. For 5.5 months until she had an abortion
at 6 months.
At 5.5 months.
It's legal in the UK up to 6.
Now, why no one dared to tell her the truth, which was to say, at this point, you are murdering your own child. They will feel pain, and you are a killer. Is beyond me. And a lot of why they're not allowed to say it is the same reason we're not allowed to say uncomfortable truths about race statistics, is because the force of the global homo regime will come down on you as you are the bad guy, you are the evil, you are the threat, and you must be done away with.
And just women in general. Like with the way women react to things that are true, a lot of men just are thinking, why would I tell her the truth?
Why would I bother telling her the truth? Absolutely.
yeah.
That's exactly correct. But to me, so here's the story, right? And I remember hearing about this, and I wasn't yet quite coming out. I was starting to come out of where I was, and I just felt even before I knew anything, I just felt a tremendous amount of grief in my heart, and I was like, that poor kid. And now she's like trans, lesbian, whatever, shaved half her head. And every year she would, on the anniversary of the abortion, celebrate this son that she aborted, which is now in heaven. And I'm like, but to think, see, now, if
Nurturing gender, right?
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
If somebody was honest, they would take that story and they would hold it as an example to every single woman who's talking about this, because the consequences of that decision have reverberated on her life. First of all, that affair that she was having, that ended. Here's the other part. The guy was encouraging her to have the abortion, which is also real. He did not want that because he didn't want the consequences of that to reverberate in his life. And I don't know I'm sure he paid the toll somehow, but she certainly paid the toll, because now she's basically mentally ill because she can't reconcile herself over the fact that she has murdered her child, and she experiences grief, which she redistributes as a celebration to his life on the anniversary of his abortion date. So why don't people tell these stories?
I don't know. The way I would view that is she was just crazy. Like
She wasn't crazy beforehand.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And what about all the women who were telling her to go to? It was her choice.
I do think that some women have a hard time with it, but just in my personal experience, I've observed some women that are fine. They don't care. There's this idea that all the women are heartbroken. They're not, and it's actually disgusting how much they are not heartbroken. A lot of them.
Wow.
Because women do not want to reproduce with average men. That's what abortion is. We will go to college to not reproduce with average men. We will go put ourselves in debt, get, fake tits, fake hair, fake everything to not reproduce it with average men. We'll move to the big cities to not reproduce with average men. And if an average man gets us pregnant, I want the choice to abort it. That's what women are saying collectively.
But this guy clearly wasn't average, because he was like a pretty famous musician or whatever, and she was crazy in love with him for 3 or 4 years or whatever, and she wanted him, right? She
Well, sometimes women make a choice. It's an above average man, but they don't think he'll stick around. So,
she did it to keep
all the
him.
women I personally,
she did it to keep him.
All the women, all the women I personally know that have got abortions, though, it's actually sad. They're all with boyfriends that were actually involved. They would have stayed.
Wow. Why? See, but this is one of those things too,
Most
right?
of them are from wealthy. I mean, because most of the girls I knew that did it were in school, so it was like upper middle class white people, I would say. They all had the money.
Oh.
It's just they didn't want to reproduce with the average boyfriend.
But then why are you dating him?
Women have placeholder boyfriends often. I mean, women have the term starter husbands, right?
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't understand that. That's something too,
and we want different things from men at different points in our lives.
Okay.
So women usually prioritize alpha in their 20s and beta bucks in their 30s. So they go more for provisioning and security rather than genetics.
That's
or
sad.
women will date comedians in their 20s and then go to the accountant in their 30s. I'm sure you've seen that.
I'm marrying a comedian right now.
Yeah.
But that's different. He's already,
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying
no.
in general.
No. I mean, first of all, why women are dating comedians at all? These are the lowest of the low.
We love men with microphones.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Women, let me just tell you something, because I spent, I'm a comedian. I've spent time around the comedians. I don't care how good their set was that you saw. These guys are losers. They cannot keep their apartment clean. They don't even have regular jobs, and they can't get up at a normal time. They can't take care of their bodies. They're not doing anything all day. They basically don't sleep in all day, throw trash everywhere, order takeout, don't take a shower, and then at 7:00 at night they go out and start doing these mics where the whole time they're just getting drunk and doing drugs and whatever, and then they repeat the whole cycle. So why any woman would want that? They're nothing to look at. Most comedians are pretty hideous.
Well, it's status. It signals status. If
But
you can
that's what
make
I
an
mean.
entire,
Even this whole
yeah.
thing with comedians having this status these days. And listen,
Well, in that social hierarchy.
it's pathetic.
Yeah, I mean,
pathetic.
It's kind of like one guy on a college campus can run through the college girls, but then he goes to the city and he's a nobody. It just depends on the room you're in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna disabuse you of this illusion that comics are worth being with. Like, seriously, like, my advice to women, okay, is you should look at every prospective person that you're going to date from the point of view of, do I want your children? If the answer is no, get them away from that person, because the reason the answer is no is revealing things about that person that's going to make them a bad mate. Okay? But if you look at someone and you're like, I would trust having children with you, that is a person who's actually also going to be a good husband. And get rid of all these stupid ideas about, first of all, there's nothing to be gained from having casual sex as a woman. There just isn't. There's nothing.
Really?
Whatever thing they tell you, there's nothing to be gained from
You
that.
would be surprised.
There's nothing to be gained.
I got to be accurate here.
What is there? What is there to be
I want to
gained?
take out morality.
I want to know what there is to be gained from having casual sex with a man.
Well,
for a
there's
woman.
women that have monetized it. Some of the top earning women are on OnlyFans. I'm taking out morality, right?
Right, but that's not having. Is that having casual sex?
Well, yeah, they do it on camera. That's one.
Oh, they're having. Okay, all right. Well,
like
okay.
even I was offered $1 million to do porno. I didn't take it, right?
Did you?
No, I didn't do it. But
I was wondering how you afforded this very nice
yeah, right.
studio over here.
But I mean, that's $1 million. So there's a reason women are doing it. Women sleep their way into, like, there is a guy in Chicago who's like the mayor or something. The woman sleeping with the boss was getting $300K a year. You know what I mean? So the challenge you get is, I'm saying,
the money.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley St. Clair.
Oh boy.
If she stayed with her first baby daddy, she could live a normal life. Now she gets $1 bajillion.
But who cares? It's so irrelevant.
But you have to look at incentives. That's what I'm trying to.
But this is my point.
Yeah.
This is my point.
Yeah.
Okay, again, right?
Yeah.
I do think you can get away from morality all you want, but the only thing that's going to save people is morality. Because if you come down to an understanding of a foundation of, I think, Christian ethics and morals, you can understand why those things were. Let me get into it. There is the world famous saying of, what does it profit a man or a woman to gain the world if you forfeit your soul? So who cares if you have $1 million?
Yeah, and I can agree with you, right? But I just like to predict where things are going. And so if you're going to say, why would someone do that? Well, there's plenty of reasons, because there is benefit.
Right. Well, so now we come back to the foundation of what is important and valued in our society. It's materialism.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Whoring is rewarded.
Well, across the board.
Yeah, it is.
Right? The guy who offshores all of the manufacturing job in America and completely destroys his town, but becomes a mega millionaire, is worshipped instead of tarred and feathered. Because we're looking at, they got money, they must be doing well, right? Same thing. The OnlyFans, Sophia Rain or whatever, I don't like saying these demons' names, instead of being, paraded through the streets having her head shaved and shamed for the degenerate morality that she's bringing in, she's being advertised across
she's treated like a celebrity. People come, like, they take pictures on the street. She's getting to meet all these these celebrities, and like, she was in David Dobrik's blog. I mean, that's like the top of, I didn't get invited there,
So every single person who is enabling this is part of this.
Even me, like, I wanted to go on, do you know Caleb Hammer's
No.
show? I don't know. There's a YouTuber I really like, and I wanted to do a collaboration with him, and he said, no, you're too controversial.
Yeah,
And
that's
the next
insane
week,
to me.
no, but the next week, I see whores on the literal prostitutes, and I'm like, me, just because I don't think women should vote, but the prostitutes are okay.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I know.
I agree.
I agree.
It's not fair.
People
but
say that to me too, just
Yeah.
because I want to deport all the Indians.
Yeah.
I'm too controversial. But then you have a girl who's asshole is like literally on TV, and that's fine. That's a complete inversion of normality.
I know. It's such a weird time we're living in.
It is a complete inversion. If you believe the Bible, this is what they said the end times would be like.
Yeah.
That everything would be upside down, that the good would be called bad and the bad would be called good and the crazy man would be called sane and the sane man crazy. That women would start dressing as men and acting like them and men would start dressing as women and acting like them. It's all in there.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Pretty much violence, the falling apart of supply chains, white people being targeted openly in the streets. I mean, it's already happening now, but I'm talking about on it, like, you know, like what's going on in South Africa, where, I mean, people don't understand what's going on in South Africa. If they did, and if they knew that that's what they're planning over here, we'd have a totally different situation happening. But they have to build electrical fences, armed guards, and everything around their farms and everything. And the government is still arming the Bantu with these transponders that disarm electric fences so they could still get in there and execute white people. Now, once they successfully do that, there's going to be nobody around to run farms because the non-whites just can't seem to get their mind around how to farm.
So, because women want to look like good people more than be good people.
Women want to look like good
Yeah,
people.
so
Women are also incredibly dependent on the tribe for their survival.
Yeah, it's reputation management.
Well, it's more than that. I mean, if you believe in us having been, you know, tribal, right?
Yeah.
Living and we don't have the ability, you and I, to go hunt an animal and live by our own blood. So the only way we're going to live...
Whoring.
Well, that's one of them, and it's a very effective strategy,
Yeah, like
apparently.
if you whore for the one guy, that if he dies, you're whoring for the next.
Right, sure. But also, right, you had to live according to that tribe's values, right?
that's true.
Because then the tribe's going to feed you.
Yeah.
So you're not going to stand up and tell the tribe that maybe we shouldn't do something because they might throw you out. You have the same exact thing happening now. These women are not going to stand up and tell the tribe that it's wrong to abort the children. They might get thrown out.
Yeah, but I don't think they think it's right. I think women are just power-hungry creatures. Like, I think women are so power-hungry, and now that they've been given power, it reveals what women actually want to do. Because I just don't think our nature is very good.
Yeah.
I think our nature is, like, terrible. And so now they're like, here, you terrible people, here's a bunch of power. And they're like, yay, let's be whores. I'm going to leave my husband, and I'm going to kill my kids. See you guys.
You make a good case. I can't really argue against
Yeah, like
you.
I just don't think our nature is very good. I just don't like. Sorry, I don't mean to push back.
No,
but
I don't think most people's nature is very good though.
Well, especially women though. I think
Yeah.
women's is way worse. It's like not even like I feel like men's nature is like this bad and women's nature is like that bad.
Let me think about this for a second.
Because you put men together.
Yeah.
Men are so not. Feminism just weaponizes men's how good of people men are.
Okay, let's hear this.
Because what they'll do is the women are like, please, we want to work. And the men are like, just shut up, fine. Here you go, honey, I want you to be happy. And they let us go work. Boom, she's the boss. Cooked. And then they say, look, we don't want to have a kid we don't want to have. And they're like, well, we don't, if you get rid of, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
If you don't want to have my kid, I don't want to force you to have it. So they're like, okay, here you go. And they're like, let's kill all of the kids. And we just keep doing this over and over and over again. And I don't think it's like women being brainwashed. I think it's women, working in their best interests. Like women want full freedom to do whatever we want and the ability to bang hot guys forever. That's why we like Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian. Because
Kim Kardashian banged Pete Davidson. He's not a hot guy forever. She has kids that don't look anything like her. That's not really a success strategy.
Yeah, but I would say to women, Pete Davidson is attractive in some way because his results prove it because he gets very attractive women.
Yeah, but I think that's a psyop. I think they're making Pete Davidson get all these...
No, I mean, it just goes into... Women like comedians. They like funny guys.
Ugh. Disgusting.
I mean, you've seen it at the comedy shows. Those guys, they pick up a good-looking women. You never banged a comedian ever?
No. The only time is I'm now marrying him, so...
Come on, there you go.
Yeah, but
you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, but I didn't bang him. Like he courted me as a successful business entrepreneur.
Okay, but then what happened?
We got married. Well, we're getting married, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh my, there was no part of me that was like, oh, look at this super hot, high status. I thought he was a good person.
You didn't think he was attractive?
Not in the beginning, no. I haven't thought literally any guy I've ever dated or been with, I never thought they were attractive when I first met them.
Really?
No, never, zero, nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of mean.
It's not how it's no. I just don't in general like. But
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Oh, I dated ugly guys. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't find men attractive just looking at them.
None? Oh, come on.
I don't. Brad Pitt's a
Pitt.
good looking. He's a good looking guy.
Come
He's a
on.
good looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not attracted to him because I don't have any. There's nothing going on. And this is again. This is the nature of women, despite everything they're telling you. Women fall in love with their ears. Men
that's
fall in
true.
love with their eyes.
That's
so,
true.
what made my man attractive is I became very attracted to him. Was who he was with me. Here's a guy. He's not trying to get anything out of me. He didn't try to sleep with me. He basically wanted to get to know me. So he was like, "Hey, I have these positions, like I need somebody to feature for me here. I had no idea what was going on, by the way. And I showed up to the first job and I was like, if this guy is trying to bang me so I could do, because I knew that this was a strategy. I was like, he's got another thing coming. There was nothing like that. It was like, hey, this is what I need. And if you want some food, I'm going to get food. You're welcome to come with me. And then there he'd be talking to me and asking me things about myself and like what all these things. And I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden he's opening my door for me. He's being very nice. He asked me if I needed help with like some of my videos that I was doing. I was like, wow, that'd be real nice, you know? And, then said
How long have you guys been together? It's been a while.
No, about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, I had not a great ability to find good men.
Oh, really?
That's why I have a little bit of a different point of view where I see the evil nature of men.
So how
when it
old
comes
were
to
you
women.
when you met him?
Well, we're not going to get into that, but I did get married when I was 25.
Yeah.
And that was
Well, no, but like it just kind of goes with what I was saying. Like women prioritize different things at different ages of their life.
well,
generally
but here's the
speaking.
thing. My now husband is far more attractive than my ex was. He's a much better person than my ex was. He's way more alpha than my ex was. Lots of women like go after him. You know, he's not like, you wouldn't look at him and go, wow, this guy's so hot, right? It's not an insult to say that, but lots of very attractive women have wanted him. So
Comedians, telling you.
so there was no like, oh, it's time to settle. You know, there was no part of my life where I was banging a bunch of alphas. It was worse. I was banging losers.
Yeah. Well, that kind of backs
my
up.
ex-husband being a loser, but it had nothing to do with that. It's just being, I don't think my story really is.
It's okay. We don't have to.
No,
but
I just
we don't have to go too much into it.
I
but
don't think it's typical of the standard because I came from a very atypical situation and having absolutely zero exposure to men and not knowing anything about the ways that there would be bad guys who try to get bad things out of you. Like, I didn't have evil intentions or bad intentions, and I never really tried to get things out of people at an expense to them. So it never occurred to me that anybody would be doing that, men or women.
You mean like gold digging or something?
Gold digging, using for different things. Men can use women in different ways, I think, than women use men. Although some men do use women the same way, for monetary stuff, which I've had the experience of. It just didn't occur to me, I'm pretty like kind of upfront. What you see is what you get. I'm telling you what I'm thinking. There's no ulterior motive or agenda. And that wasn't the case with what I was experiencing. And I've seen that with a lot of men, like even, when I was single, when I became single as a comedian, all these comics who known me for years. I'm one of the guys, right? Because I'm actually funny. Wrong. You're available now. I'm going to see how can I get in there and sleep with you. And, it was like,
oh yeah, they'll always try.
It's so
Yeah,
but I mean more than that, right? Like presenting yourself. Like I had the experience of a guy in my circle presenting himself as a suitor, very aware that I didn't have a reputation for whatever. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool, let's get to know each other, whatever. And then he makes a move, and I go, whoa, I just want you to know, like, outside of a relationship, I'm not doing anything like this. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just not ready to be in a relationship right now. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Shake your hand. Goodbye. We'll be friends. But no. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be your friend, and I'm still trying. And I was like, no. I don't think you get it. This isn't a negotiation. But that's a lot of women kind of think like, okay, maybe that's what he's saying, but I can change his mind.
A lot of women do.
A lot of women do change his mind.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Well, I wasn't there for
That's
that.
the way like women get in the door with men out of their league. It's a strategy.
Yeah, well,
I saw it in
not
school.
very good at it.
No, I've seen it in school. There was women I never thought would get relationships out of men that got children out of them.
Wow.
His wife.
But
It's a
but
strategy.
is that something that ends up being good in the long run?
Because for some of them, there's winners and losers in the game of love.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if a girl is a 5 or a 6, if she's a mid,
Yeah.
and the guy's an 8, well, what's a way to entice an 8? You put yourself on sale.
Jeez. Man, I wish somebody had told me these strategies.
If she's easy, there's one girl I'm thinking of in particular. I would put her at like a 5.56 maybe for our age.
Yeah.
The guy she married was the best looking guy on the baseball team. And for years, I thought he would never date her because it was like a situationship or whatever. 5 years.
Wow.
She just stuck around long enough.
Jeez.
Was likable enough. Now, for every winner, there's losers in life.
I was going to say, like...
It doesn't work for everybody. All I'm saying is it's a strategy for women to get in the door with men that are out of their league. Is by taking
I wish you had
out
taught me these strategies when I was younger, because I didn't have any of those strategies.
All on TikTok, women admit to this stuff.
Man.
Yeah.
I hope I don't have a daughter. I'm not going to be able to teach her how to do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't regret anything, actually, because I'm happy, and I think I found exactly the kind of person that's suited to me, and I'm grateful for that. I had no right to expect any of that. So to me, that's like a God shot, that I'm like, all right, thank you, and that's why I kind of like try to tell these women, like, the person you pick is a huge determination of your happiness in life and well-being, and it goes beyond money. It's important. You don't want to be with a loser who can't work, who has no ambition. Like, that's not good. There's a reason women don't want those guys, and that's good.
At 30, at 20, most women.
That's what I'm saying to women. At 20, you should be doing that because you don't have that much time.
Yeah, but they won't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen. Women are going to push off marriage as long as humanly possible.
Unless you change the cultural narrative, you bring back those old mores of this is shameful and that's not cool, and the Zoomers.
Yeah, you can't shame women into submission. In my opinion, you can't.
Well, it used to work.
No, I would just. I disagree. I don't really.
You don't think so? I think it worked. I think it kept a lot of women in line. I think it kept women in my grandmother's generation.
As soon as women got the chance to leave, even women that were born in the 20s and 30s, one of the highest divorce rates was in it was either 1960 or 70. And these are women that were born in times that were better. I mean, because again, I don't look at what I look at what women are choosing.
Yeah.
And as soon as women got the choice,
okay, but hold on. When they got the choice, the stigma around that had already fallen away. There wasn't a huge stigma around it.
Yeah, but even before that, there's like examples of war brides. Like there was a law. I'm gonna butcher this a little bit because I'd have to read about it again, but. There was a law passed somewhere in the United States to bring back European wives because when America was like winning in the war, essentially all of the women that were virgins on their wedding days and married their high school sweethearts said, "Oh, the other soldiers are winning. I'm going to bounce."
Which other soldiers?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
This is World War I? Is that what you're saying?
I don't remember off. I could look it up if you want it, but.
We were losing a war. Is that right?
Yeah, basically, women abandoned because the other soldiers won. I can't remember which ones, but there was a law passed. I'm fairly sure it was in the United States.
Okay.
Basically, allowing for more immigration because all the women left their high school loves and went to the winning soldiers.
Yeah, well,
You can't shame women out of doing it.
hold on.
Women
That's a survival strategy.
Well, it still is. Women are
Yeah.
always going to go for the highest status man.
Yeah, so
Even
that's what I'm
today,
saying.
yeah.
Men got to just win again.
Yeah, but women are going to want to go for the highest status man in the college, in the city, in their hometown. So that's why women are always going to share men when given. You either take away choice from women. You go back to arranged marriages where women don't have as much choice, or you give women choice and women are going to share men.
Yeah, I don't think arranged marriages are good, but for a different reason.
Well, I'm just saying when you give women choice,
Because
women will share men.
I'm just saying Pakistanis have arranged marriages and they all look very dysgenic.
Oh, you're saying you're saying like
I'm saying when you don't do mate selection, basically you don't have those reproductive pressures that cause people to select more attractive, more capable mates. And this is a real problem. And I think you'll see it in a lot of these cultures in which they're kind of guaranteed a spouse. The men are
there's no burden of performance for the men. But it goes back to the problem.
Yeah.
Because you want to
and
obfuscate.
the women are not very,
Men want to obfuscate women, like their burden of performance in a relationship by appealing to society and saying, society, do my job for me, shame these women. They can't. Women do not care about men. It's the opinion of men they're not sleeping with.
Oh, yeah.
They don't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah, so.
You know, what they care about the opinion of other women, though.
Not really.
Well, they do try to fit in with, like, what the girls are saying and not upset the apple cart. They're not going to stand out, which I think gets back to that tribal survival strategy.
Yeah. Well, my only point is if women have choice, they will bang the same guys. So it's either women have choice or they don't have choice. And that's the tough question people have to answer.
Yeah.
Do you want women to have choice in who they marry? Do you want to force women to have sex with men they are not attracted to? That's the real question. Because if you allow women to only have sex with men they're attracted to, women will always pick 20% of men. Always. Always.
Don't be a loser,
I agree. I'm not I'm just saying you can't have both. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think you can force women to have sex. I just don't. That would be like that would be like forcing men to marry women they're not attracted to.
I know.
It's not right.
And that's what feminism is. It's women want the ability to have sex with who they're attracted to. At its core, women want to have sex with alphas. You married an attractive guy, you said yourself.
He's attractive to me now. That's what I said. He wasn't. I didn't look at him and go, "That's what I want." I didn't really look at that. But that never really was my thing.
Regardless, you would not want to marry someone you're not attracted to.
Of course not.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But that's because there's a lot that goes into what I'm attracted to. It's not just. It's the whole thing. Who are you as a person?
Yeah.
Like I'm not attracted to.
Yeah.
People that are bad people.
I know, and I don't think most people want to force women to do that, and that's where the rubber meets the road. Is my point.
I don't know if I agree with you because.
What?
Again, well, I'm going to tell you why again, right? If you go, that's not the case anymore because this regime's going everywhere. But Albanians, up until basically even my generation, they were loosely arranged marriages, not really arranged. What they would do is they would say, people all knew each other, right? So they'd be like, oh, so-and-so has a daughter who's coming of age. I think they might be a good mate for you. And the guy would kind of go around, but not necessarily go over there and say hi to her, right? He might try to deliver a watermelon to the family, right? Or something to get a glimpse and see if that's what he was into, right? And then they would say to the girl, oh, so-and-so is of this age, whatever, right? And if they were in agreement, then they would advance it. There were very important measures in place. You weren't dating. There was no dating going on. Once you were yep, there was an engagement, and then very soon afterward, there was a marriage. But there was still not this, you're marrying this person whether you want to or not. There were pressures. There was enticement. There was hair. They're good looking. They've got this. They've got that. They come from such and such a family, right? But plenty of women said, not interested, or men, not interested. It's not what I want. But a lot of this stuff was introduced in this way.
Still, at the end of the day, if you give women choice, women will select the same men.
But they can't if there's these controls, right? That works in a culture in which these men can then go ahead and have sex with these women. But that wasn't, you couldn't do that. Like, some people did it, right? And it was known.
They did,
it was known, right? But within that social structure, it really wasn't accepted and standard.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is it's not really pragmatic today because we have social media. There's no going back.
You're not going back. But this idea that there's no going back, and you're certainly not going to go to something even more extreme than that. Like, you're not even going to have a choice. You're not going to do that. I do think that sort of making it uncool to be is very important. And there is some shift in that, right? I think that also, like, men can do a lot, but they won't, because they also won't work together, because there's always simps. So
the simp epidemic is so bad.
When the good men, because I've seen it, where good men will be like, I have let's say I have a cousin who's a young guy, and he's in his 20s, and he was dating a girl, and he's way more attractive than her, and she was okay. But she was a little bit looser with her morals, whatever. And I said, look, right now, this is pretty good given what's going on in the world. And it was good. They were together for a year or whatever. But then she started to not get some things that she wanted. And he was like, yeah, well, I'm not gonna do that because I respect myself and all this stuff. And eventually it was enough for her to go, I understand, but I deserve, and this is what I'm capable of, and I know that I'll get it or whatever. And he was like heartbroken or whatever, but he said, okay. So they ended it. It took her about a year, but a year after the breakup, she called him. And
after she banged someone else and it didn't work out, he better have shot her down.
Hold on. I'll tell you exactly what happened. She had an illusion that was created by the world outside that said, you go, queen, and you're this, and you're worthy, and you deserve, because that's all women are hearing. You deserve, you deserve, you deserve. There's no measure of, why do I deserve? What do I bring? Why would somebody give this to me? There's just because the whole narrative is saying that, and all these women are invested in that because the uglies know that if they can boost this to be true about all women, then they can just deserve as much as the hot women, right?
Yeah.
So it's a strategy for the uglies. This is what you must make women aware of, because no woman wants to think she's ugly or fat, right? So anyway, she called him about a year after, and what had happened was she had a little bit of experience with these dudes, and they didn't give her a tenth of what he gave her. And he said, I'm not interested anymore.
Or was she 1 to 10, like a 4, 5?
No, I would say she was.
Was she in shape?
She was in shape. She was young.
She was young, so 6?
I would, maybe put her at a 6.
6, yeah. So she goes and bangs. Yeah, that's what I said. You give her choice.
Well, but this guy's a 9.
Yeah.
And in
I know. Tom Brady got divorced.
But here's what happened a year after. She really shouldn't have it as good. The guy who's a 9 said, not interested anymore. I've moved on. Why? Because he had self-worth and self-respect. What is she going to do? Okay,
someone else is going to do it.
She's good, but she's never going to get that level again, because anybody at that level or higher is going to recognize her immediately. And as time goes on, her value's going down and their value's going up. This is what it is. Women need to understand this. It needs to be drilled into their head. So she's going to end up settling with someone less than, on all the levels, and not getting even a tenth of what she was getting. These need to be tales of caution, so that these young women, instead of hearing, oh, there's going to be someone else and you're going to get this, they should be shown a picture of a fat, disgusting slob who's an alcoholic and abusive, and say, likelihood you're going to be in this area. And because right now they're getting some other thing that's not even true. And so you need to kind of drill this in over and over again. And then they also need to understand you're not special magical princesses just because you have a vagina and there's a bunch of simps, right? And this is something that I kind of try to tell women all the time, because I'm on the internet. So I get inboxed all the time. Okay. I don't get tempted by that because I go, I value what I have. So best case scenario, this person is as good as what I have. Best case scenario, which is unlikely, right? So what's the point of leaving? I'm just going to switch to be in a lateral position in the best case scenario? No, thanks. Aside from all the like human qualities of I love the person, I value who I'm with, you know. The truth is, it's going to be worse. That's the truth. The likelihood is, yeah, you have all these people saying all this stuff to you. Oh, you're so beautiful. You deserve this. And you go, that's a simp. That's a person without value. A guy with value does not do that. A guy with value inquires about you, gets to know you, sees if you're something that they want. So get out of your stupid head. Stop believing. Half your inboxes are coming from Indians, and we know you don't want that.
No, the challenge is someone will always do it. Always. And he's not going to be half bad. He's not going to be half great either. That's the truth.
You would be shocked at how much choice single moms have these days. It's actually very black-filling.
Oh, man.
Because the problem is, as women get worse, like men will adapt.
Jeez.
Men will, you know.
I don't know.
Like, you know, they'll start accepting fatter women, more single mothers. It's just never going to.
I don't know. I know a lot of guys who aren't accepting fat women. I've tried.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
Okay, I want to make this a little bit more real and go to an individual level.
Okay.
Woman turns 18. She has the choice, go be a housewife or go to college. Most women pick college because they want to party and drink. They could stay in their hometown and marry their high school sweetheart. Most women go to a big city. Maybe they want to chase a career. Maybe they want to chase the hot guys in the city. But on an individual level, you're making a choice. And there are some women that don't make those choices. So I just don't think, like from what I see on an individualistic level, it's just women wanting to do other things than be a wife and a mother.
What do the parents of that 18-year-old girl tell her if she wants to get married and be a housewife? What do the parents tell her now, these days? What do they tell her?
I mean, some parents say yes, some say no. I'd say more say not to do it. They say to wait, yeah.
Who are you going to listen to?
So if your parents tell you to be a criminal, you're still responsible.
Fine.
So
fine.
what? Yeah.
Fine. But I think it's unfair to say somehow they're just making these choices in a vacuum.
I think it's fair. I think you as an adult, or I think so many times women want to be treated like children when you're an adult. You're an adult. You made that choice.
But
take
Pearl,
responsibility and
fine.
accept. Yeah, take responsibility.
Okay, but Pearl, literally, parents treat an 18-year-old girl wanting to get married and stay a housewife as some kind of tragedy these days.
Legally,
yes or no?
Legally, can she get married if she wants to?
Yes. Where is she going to find at 18? Is there a plethora of men who are interested in getting marrying her?
Groypers.
Okay, wait a second. Is there a plethora?
They might be too old.
Hold on. Is there a plethora of white men?
Groypers are available.
I said, is there a plethora of white men?
The challenge is, no, here's the challenge. The women, there's almost zero overlap in the men willing to wait for sex and the men that they're attracted to. There's not much overlap. So when you tell women at 18, here's your husband, he's the guy in church, and it's a dorky guy from church, she's like, ugh. No, yeah. I want to go bang Chad or Tyrone from the football team. And then you're like, no, just get this nice accountant. The accountant's over here.
But nobody's telling her that, Pearl. Nobody's telling her that.
It doesn't matter
Yes, it does matter.
No, because the women that they do tell that have terrible reputations. Catholic schoolgirl, pastor's daughter. These have negative connotations. Even the women that have this shoved down their throat want to be whores.
Yeah, well, of course, if you're shoving it down your throat.
Nala Ray was from a pastor family.
Who?
Nala Ray, the OnlyFans model.
Oh, I don't know these people, but
whatever.
But Pearl, I don't think first of all, you're trying to create something that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
I went to Catholic school.
We had speakers every year telling us to wait till marriage to have sex.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Did any
where
of
did
us
you go?
do
Where'd
it?
you, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that was common in all the Catholic schools by me. I lived this.
Yeah.
I have seen this stuff told to young women. They don't care. They want to go.
Yeah,
because
they go to Catholic school.
And
They have a few hours. How many times did they tell you guys this? They come in. They do an auditorium.
Oh God! I mean, we went to mass. We all went to mass.
Sure. How many of the guys waited till marriage? They got the same message too, didn't they?
I would say more would be willing. I would say the more common predicament was the men in high school wanting to marry the women, and the women dumping them, going to college, and getting banged out.
Yeah, well, I didn't really see that, and I saw a lot, when I was coming up, I saw a lot of men who just avoided relationships, avoided marriage. They were like, I'm not ready to settle down. I saw this
But my
throughout.
point is, there were women that chose it. I knew a girl, and she
Yeah.
went to school, and her whole job, she's like, I'm getting my MRS degree. By 22, she was married, she waited, she did things the right way. If women wanted to do that, they would. There's nothing legally stopping women. So,
I think that that
Yeah.
they should. The thing is, whether we're going to argue about where the propaganda came from, I believe it was the Jays. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
Well, there
But
could
I'm
be
I'm not done.
Yeah,
I'm not
go
done. Whether or not they got tempted, they're still responsible for the choice. And at the end of the day, even if I wanted to say that they're not responsible, it doesn't matter because they're still going to suffer the consequences of it. We could sit here and I could put the fault 100% on the Jays, which I don't, by the way. And it won't matter because you are still going to suffer the consequences. Nothing, like if I make an illegal left because my GPS told me or whatever, yeah, okay, it's my fault or whatever, but it's also the GPS, right? Because but if I'm going into oncoming traffic, I'm still going to get hit. And this is something that needs to be understood. Me diagnosing the problem and saying, hey, there's a root cause to this, and it's actually complex, and there are many factors. And yes, one aspect I do think is women's choice, and I do agree with you to a huge. I don't think this is the case about all women. I wouldn't know what sizable portion because maybe I'm biased because the exposure that I got. I've seen both. I've seen good women. I've seen bad women. I've seen women who are way more moral than the men that they're surrounded by. And I've seen something else, right? It won't matter because those women will still suffer the consequences of choices that I think actually destroy your life. Even if you successfully get married and have kids and all that shit, I don't know. There's something to be gained with preserving purity, and
I don't see any consequences. Unfortunately,
You don't.
I wish there was.
I do. I see all these women in New York who age out of the ability to have children, end up becoming, turn into lesbians, a lot of them by that time, lonely, crying cat women. The good men have gone by the time.
Okay, let's look at us. Neither of us are with the men we lost our virginities to. Is there a consequence? You're getting married.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'm
there's a
not- I'm not-
consequence.
and-
There's a
and I'm not
consequence
trying
because...
to, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just saying in general, I think.
But honestly,
yeah.
Thank God, because that person was an awful human being who was a scammer and a deceiver and said, this is what I'm for, and then ended up being something else. So how are we going to explain that? Am I going to go put that on all men? There's a huge sizable portion of men who've done such things.
Well, I would still say it was your choice, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and mine too, right? But I'm saying
But also,
yeah.
if somebody's lying to you, if you make a choice and they're presenting you information in a way that's not true, it's like if somebody said, "Hey, I'm going to sell you this house. This house is totally up to par and everything looks good," and you look at it and everything, and then you go in and the floor caves in. Yeah, it's your choice. Did you choose to buy a house where the floor is going to cave in? No. Should you be forced to live in that house now?
Look, I'm not saying one way or the other. Until I hear both sides, I don't want to go into like weird.
Oh boy, yeah. Trust me.
But in my experience, I have to hear both sides to come to like a conclusion on any breakup or anything. Right?
Yeah. Well.
And I don't really want to. Right. That's not really my business. I'm not trying to get into that. But my point is, women have so much power in the sexual marketplace that even single mothers are getting married. Women with OnlyFans are getting... I don't say this in a happy way.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, women have fattened themselves so bad that if you're thin, you can get away with murder these days. They're like, men will take an OnlyFans before a fat chick, and that just is what it
true.
is. Beauty is scarce.
That's true. You know what? I was a 25-year-old, slightly chunky virgin, and I wasn't getting all these offers, and the whores were.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's men too.
I know someone who's a single mom with 2 kids. Okay,
but that's men too.
She was thin, 2 kids by a baby daddy that was literally in jail.
Jeez.
She got a 6-foot, 6-figure husband who's a really good guy.
So I mean, whose fault is this? Whose fault is that, by the way?
Well, I would say, sex is a need for men, and men compromise.
Okay, but but hold on.
Yeah.
You're rewarding this horrible behavior, right? This is what I see with a lot of these men. They reward this horrible behavior, and then they complain about the state of the world. I'm like,
okay, so
the change begins with you.
Well, they can't help the world they're born into. Like, imagine
men can't help the world they're born into, but women can.
Because women have the first choice. Women at 18 have all the power in the sexual marketplace to make choices.
But
so
wait.
18,
You just said they can't force the Chads to be into a relationship with them. So what choice is that?
Well, that's most men. That's not the experience of most men. So when women turn 18, they have the choice. Do you want the accountant or the football player? Accountant equals marriage.
Which women?
Football player.
Which women? I knew so many women who did not have any of those choices. And a lot of women that I went to high school with ended up marrying their high school sweethearts, which neither of them were pretty stellar.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep going with this analogy.
Okay,
At
go.
18, women have all the choice. We would agree that in the sexual marketplace, an 18-year-old girl has more choice than an 18-year-old guy.
Than an 18-year-old boy. Does an 18-year-old, but that's not necessarily the mate, right? Does an 18-year-old girl have more choice than a 30-year-old man?
Okay, I would still say yes. Personally, if you look at dating app stats, which is the one way people are meeting, it would show that the younger women have more choice. I mean, they have like 4,000 matches
for sex,
which is how relationships start nowadays.
Oh,
for sex in 2025, sex comes before relationships most of the time.
It's unfortunate.
So the men are at the menu and they say, "Can I get a virgin bride?" And they're like, "We're out." And they're like, "Okay, could I get a girl that's not fat?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, but she's got an OnlyFans." And he's like, "Okay, what else do you got?" And then he's like, "Well, here's a fat chick who's only had sex with 3 dudes." And he's like, "Can she like diet or work out?" And they're like, "No." And then they're like, "Well, what about an attractive 30-year-old? I'll compromise on age, I'll get the IVF baby. Can she just not be fat?" And they're like, "Here you go." And that's what men are doing now. Now they got 30-year-old brides, right?
Yeah.
And that's what keeps happening is beauty is scarce and men will compromise for beauty. But women have the first choice because we get the choice first at 18. And then we choose, and you said it yourself, we choose men that are losers at 18. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little... I was going to say something. I forgot what it was now, though. Oh, yeah. You're saying this thing when here's the other thing, though, okay? Men in their at 30 or whatever going out there and being like, all right, let me get the virgin bride or whatever. But they've been part of the deflowering that's been going on.
Well,
so how can you go around... You're literally when you're male whoring, you're sleeping with someone else's wife.
Yeah,
so you're gonna get somebody who slept with your wife.
Yeah, I know, but the challenge you get is you have this idea that virginity is so bonding. But if virginity was that bonding, then women would stay with the men they lost their virginity to. Women are not.
What do you mean? I have this idea. Why do I have that idea?
Because a lot of times,
where am I assuming that virginity is so bonding?
That's what it sounds like. But I'm gonna keep going with my point.
Okay.
So. A lot of men have sex with women that are virgins, and the next week they're getting a tattoo.
Who's getting a tattoo?
The woman.
Oh.
The next week she's going to college. It's not like, and this is just what I saw personally, and I would say from the interviews I've done too. Women that are attractive, so with the most choice, 7+, I mean, they get a high school boyfriend because it's easy. They're the hottest girls in school.
Right.
And then they leave him and they go to college and get banged out. I would say that's more typical of attractive women. Mids go out, shoot out of their league, as mids do. So I mean, they might end up in a situation.
I'm sorry, I can't relate
or whatever
to being a mid.
They might be in a situation, but they made the choice to go out of their league. And you say, "Hey, mid, sleep in your league." And then he'll stay with you, and they're like, "No, I can't." Well, you don't get both.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it's like look. I'm not a big fan of women. I just want to say it, because it's sounding like I'm a big fan of women here. I'm not, because I think there's a lot of shitty things women do. And I've seen things like even women who do everything right, get married to and
There's winners and losers in love.
Well,
Yeah.
no, hold on. No, that's not what I'm saying. You don't know where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
I've seen it where they do all that stuff right, and they have the kids and they stay married and all that stuff, but they're awful human beings, and they try to sabotage the people around them for no reason whatsoever.
Oh yeah, no, that's so true. Like,
Yeah.
Being married doesn't change who you are as a person.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
there's
yeah,
bitchy
yeah.
like if that was true, then wives wouldn't have such bad reputations.
Yeah. But here's the other side too.
Karens,
Here's
you know what I mean? Like,
here's the flip side that I've seen.
Yeah.
I see lots of men who aren't faithful to their wives.
That's
They have
true.
they have good women.
That's true.
You know, and they're going out, they're saying they're doing these business meetings, and they're trying to bang
true.
they're trying to bang women
I know,
that frankly are less attractive than their wife.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because men have a need for variety to some degree. But I know a guy that goes through 100 women a year.
So I mean,
I know, I've seen it too, but I'm saying for every one guy that's doing that.
yeah, but that's because
that's a very small minority of men that have that choice. Where more women,
because they don't have the choice, they don't have the ability to.
Yeah, correct.
Right. Whereas this is something I've said because
Yeah.
a lot of the reason that it's not binding or whatever, virginity is not binding. Well, it's not presented anymore as anything to even be important, right? We're told to be like men.
I don't know.
Are we or are
I
we
went
not?
to Catholic school. I saw a lot of women get told that it was important, and it did nothing.
What does it matter if the whole culture around you is saying it's not?
Um,
What does it matter?
well,
Who are you going to believe? Well, you're going to believe what you want to do.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
correct.
is what's going to
because
happen.
an advertisement won't work if you don't want to do it. I can't put an ad, and I know, because I mean, you run ads on YouTube. Sometimes the audience is like this.
Yeah, but if
if it's something, if it hits a pain point that they
Yeah.
already want to do, then they'll click it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And women want to be whores.
But this is also the same problem you have with obesity, right? Where like kind of you're basically what's happening is you're manipulating people's kind of tendencies that were for survival, right? Some part of this women whoring in a way is survival in a way, right? Like if the soldiers that vanquish your town and you want to survive and you got to be whores with them, right? So same thing when we have like we have survival tactics to seek out the highest caloric food because famine. So those pain points are being played with all day long.
Right.
So yes, a little bit it's fat people's fault that they're fat, right?
I used to be fat.
Yeah, but also society is also responsible for constantly pushing them in that direction.
Yeah, but they wouldn't push it if they didn't buy it.
And they couldn't sell it if there wasn't something within the person already. Yeah. So they're manipulating things. And then I do think we live in a culture and a world, really, that brings out the worst.
Yeah, but the information's there. Right now, I can use Grok and make me a meal plan for the week. There's no excuse to be fat. And I used to be fat, right? I used to buy into the excuses. I think there's no excuse to be a whore.
No.
There's a character. You just wanted to be a whore.
Yeah, but listen, you want to solve a problem, right? So if
I'm not delusional enough to think this is going to be solved.
If I wanted to solve a problem about obesity, like here's what I would do. You can't get food at gas stations. Go to Europe. You can't get food at gas stations.
Oh my God. What about like McDonald's? So would you get rid of drive-thrus?
Absolutely. You got to get out of your car, fat ass.
What else would you do? Actually, give me your policies. I'm going to tell you. That's how we could end it. Tell me how we would do. How you would do it.
Here's how I would. Here's how I would eliminate fatties. Okay. First of all, we have to stop importing Mexicans. That's a real problem. Okay. Or already your national obesity is going to dip by like 20% if you do that. Okay. Secondly, you would not have fast food every 5 minutes. Okay. There'd be one place you can get fast food every 50 miles.
Wait, what fast food? This is important.
Chick-fil-A,
because that's what I was going to say.
Chick-fil-A has grilled chicken options.
You better not take Chick-fil-A away from me.
No, Chick-fil-A gets to stay. McDonald's gets to stay because it's an American icon.
Okay.
Panda Express, you're done. That's a Chinese invasion.
No, that's so good.
Panda
though.
Express is done.
Yeah, you can't order anything healthy.
There's
there.
nothing good to get there.
okay.
Okay. And also, you're only allowed to go to a fast food place once a week. So that's it. Okay.
What
all
about
the corn.
Uber Eats?
Uber Eats is done. Yeah, we got. Uber Eats is going to collapse once we get rid of all the Indians, which is going to. That's going to be my first policy. So there will be no Uber Eats. Okay.
Well, you're selling me on your campaign. I might have to vote for you.
Thank you very much. Okay. All the corn.
There's too many Indians out here.
There is way too many Indians.
Sorry, I keep
right? No, I know. That's one thing I'm so grateful to the Indians for, is you have made racism okay by your absolute obnoxious existence and showing why our grandparents were right to be racist. There'd be no corn in anything. All these corn products that they keep stuffing corn syrup into everything, that's out.
Okay.
Okay. There's only going to be 3 different kinds of candy bars.
Okay.
Reese's has to go. It's my favorite,
No!
but it's got to go. It's too
No!
addictive. It's too addictive. Look, you're talking to somebody who could literally down bags of Reese's and have.
do.
That's why it's got to go, because they did something to it.
The Easter egg ones are so
Gotta
good.
go. Gotta
They're
go.
so good.
They did something to it chemically that just overrides our satisfactory stuff. So we can keep Snickers, and anybody with.
Can I do a trade?
What's the trade?
For Reese's.
Nope. Reese's is off the table.
Okay, Snickers.
Snickers.
What about Rolos? I like those better.
Those gotta go. Nobody likes those. It's crap. You can get a plain milk chocolate bar.
Okay.
Okay. What's the third one that we give people?
I like Cliff Bars. Those aren't candy, but they might as well be.
No, that's going. That's going away. No oatmeal. Oatmeal's done.
No, why?
Oatmeal's done. Okay. There's only going to be one kind of toast. It's Ezekiel bread. That's all you're getting.
Oh, that's good. I
yeah.
like Ezekiel
No,
bread.
no margarine. You know, everybody would get lean proteins. You know, whole grains, vegetables, fruits. Okay. There'd be there would be campaigns to show you how you could substitute fruit for sugar, and that eventually, if you do it enough times, you're actually going to be satisfied. You're going to crave the fruit over the sugar.
It's never happened for me.
It does happen.
It's never happened for me.
Man, it does.
I hope it does someday. I look forward to the day.
Yeah.
But I love sugar.
Yeah, no, it's very addictive.
Yeah.
It's very
okay,
addictive.
so that's that policy. Then you're deporting everybody?
I'm deporting everybody. I might even deport myself. So I'll rule from Albania.
Okay, what's next on the policies?
Yeah, they're getting out of every position of power.
You're kicking them.
No, I'm not going to kick anybody. You don't
What
gotta
if
get
there's
violent.
a good one?
There's no such thing.
None?
Maybe Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller can stay.
Okay, he can stay.
He can stay. He's going to be in charge of all the deportations.
Okay.
Yeah, and all the traitors, all the like Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom are getting tarred and feathered.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be done.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
There will be no voting.
Okay.
Nobody's voting.
Okay, so what do we have?
We're going to establish an American royal family.
Is Nick gonna be?
I'm going to pick the most looking royal family.
Oh, Trump Jr. Or like Trump's son? No?
It's hard because he's got cousins, so that puts him in a situation we don't want. So we'd have to find pure heritage American looking specimens.
Okay. So like my brothers?
Potentially.
Okay. Like
Though their sister...
Me, but in male form.
Yeah, but your brother would be ineligible because their sister is currently dating a non-white.
Oh, okay. So that makes him...
You're excluded from the thing.
Dang it.
Yeah, and then also...
What about like a cousin? Could he get in?
Nope. Can't have any relatives within third degrees.
Okay.
Okay. All the will be sequestered to their own. They'll get their own special place with everything that they want.
Okay.
And any person who's had children with will either have to abandon their children or go live with them. So you're a woman, so you're going to abandon your child. And
so bad. Okay, keep going.
what else would I do? This is just, I'm just talking out of my ass here. But,
you know what's funny? My boyfriend, he really likes your content too. He thinks
listen,
you're funny.
Thank you. I like
your
your Dominican boyfriend. And your Dominican boyfriend, by the way, would agree with everything. He would agree with deporting your ass for dating him. That's how racist Dominicans are. 100%. 100%. He knows the truth.
Okay.
What? Yeah, I would just make. You know what I would probably do is make it so that there is actually a selection process for a leader, but they would have to be moral, heritage American. And if there was going to be voting, it's only going to be white landowning males, with the exception of the Hodge twins. They can also vote.
Okay. And any other exceptions?
Who
would Nick get to vote? Because isn't he part like Hispanic?
You know, when people say Nick is Hispanic, it's like, what are we talking about, guys? You find these white people who are like, I'm Mexican, and you're like, yeah, you're conquistador blood.
No, but I'm just wondering how white you have to be to vote.
If I can't tell that
it's a physical thing.
If I can't tell that you're not white by looking at you, we're done.
I'm 1% American Indian.
Well, you're out. You're done. I'm just kidding. If I can't tell by looking at you, like, that's it.
So it's an eye test.
Yeah, absolutely. That's enough.
Okay. As long as the women aren't voting, I'm happy.
Well, the women aren't voting, and neither are the black males. So they're done.
Yeah, that's probably for the better. Anything else on the policies?
What's on the policies? Man, this is pretty good. Okay, yeah. We're going to get rid of the education that's happening in schools, and there will be a new education.
We're putting this on the website, this part. You can keep going, it's 5 minutes.
There's going to be a re-education program.
They got to just make it bleep, 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 bleep.
There will be books about the dangers of being gay, where we show children exactly what happens after just a few years of taking it up the ass, which is that you got to start wearing diapers because you shit yourself all the time. Oh. Yep. We will also give plenty of books of stats about mothers of mixed race children and how they feel completely disconnected from their child because the child doesn't look like them, and they have a hard time nurturing and this is all true stuff. I don't know why people are laughing. It's all true. You can look it up. This is your fate. And we will also show the health problems that they have, which is true, and the fact that they have a hard time finding blood donors and all this other stuff because of the thing. We'll also show them how you are less related to your own child than you are to a random person of your own race when you do such things. We will encourage ethnic connections. So if you're Irish, I would like you to stay Irish, and we would like to help introduce you to other Irish people.
So what about when you're mixed? Like, because there's so many, most people aren't all white, like one.
Most people are all white. They're just different kinds of white.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
well, that's but that's American.
Yeah.
That's the heritage American, and we're going to encourage those people to stay with each other. But if you're like a first generation Italian, and you look pretty Italian, we're going to encourage you to be with Italians. You know, by sending you back to Italy. No, I'm kidding. The Italians go back too. I like Italians. No, I think it's important that people understand that Americans are a conglomerate of the European race. That's really what they are. That people are like, oh, you're American. They are not imagining Sandeep who runs the 7-Eleven. So I don't care what Vivek says. Nobody's thinking about you.
Yeah.
Okay? If they were, you wouldn't have to tell us 100 times that you're American. We would just know. Oftentimes we're thinking about somebody who kind of actually looks like a German guy is the truth.
Yeah.
Right? Were we thinking about the blonde cheerleader who's a little... That's what we think about. Right? So this is the truth. And the preservation of these different... peoples is not racist. That would be like, can you imagine if I was like, yeah, we should just get rid of all the Haitians by forcing them to mate with Indians and Chinese, and then we can just have that. That's race. That's actually racist.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. So vote for me. I'm going to be chancellor of and the future is female.
But then would you step down because women shouldn't be in political power?
After I successfully seceded, a day before dying, I would step down and make it illegal for any woman to ever hold political power again. In true female fashion, I will kick the ladder down from below me and never help a woman rise up.
Okay, well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, where can they find you if they want to vote for you?
Yeah, if you want to vote for me or you want to come to a comedy show, this is all jokes, folks. Don't report me to the hate police. It's leonardaisfunny.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I'll go first. Black fatigue, black fatigue. Shaniqua, please take out the weave. Black fatigue, black fatigue. Shaniqua, please take out the weave.
Yeah. Black fatigue. I'm not good at keys. Please, please stop stabbing me. Black fatigue. Black fatigue. I'm not thinking the N-word until you start acting like one.
Black fatigue. Black fatigue. Why are you guys so mad at me? Black fatigue. Black fatigue. Why the hell are you so mad at me? Just take out the weave. Take out the goddamn weave.
My culture's not your identity. Beyonce, why do you keep bleaching your skin if you're so proud of being black? Oh, you've got black fatigue. Black fatigue. I really wish you guys could just go to work and stop asking me for money. Black fatigue.
There's a black guy in Chicago punching women in the face.
You won't say anything about that because it's actually about race. All the women are white. All the women are white.
Black fatigue. Black fatigue. Will you please stop punching me? Black fatigue. Black fatigue.
You can't all be kings. That's not how kingdoms work.
That's so true.
Hey, there's a place in this world where you can be free of white racism. There's a whole continent of people just like you. Please go back to Africa. We don't want any of your stuff. We don't want any of your culture. I don't care about your spices. Fried chicken was invented by whites.
Half of black women have herpes. Literally half. Wrap up, boys. Black fatigue. Black fatigue.
We really wish you could just stop stabbing me.
Okay, now, for fun, I'm gonna do a next part called white fatigue.
Let's do the
There
white
are
fatigue.
things that I'm white fatigued about.
Oh, me too.
And it's gonna start with white liberal women.
Here we go.
You can't get a man, so you're doing IVF. Diane, what the F? You can't get a man, now you're doing IVF. Now you're a single mom, what the F? White fatigue.
White fatigue. White women are ruining this country. You wouldn't need to do IVF if you hadn't aborted your third child at 25. Why didn't you keep the baby, Diane? Stop voting Democrat, they want you and take your kids. Chop their dicks off and tell them that they're women, and then they'll kill themselves because they realize that they're not and the mother's just mentally ill.
Women have these stupid jobs in the city.
So dumb.
Ooh. Human resources, but all she's doing is looking pretty.
Yep.
And her boss.
Yep. Human resources only exist because you're in the office. Go home, Diane.
Raise your kids. Why do you have a nanny?
Yeah. Why do you have a nanny? It costs more than your job's paying you.
Why is that Latina woman raising your kids speak Spanish now?
That Jamaican woman just threw your white child off the railing because he's white.
Yeah, it was your fault, Diane.
Yeah, Diane, way to go.
Why didn't you raise your kid?
Raise your kids, Diane.
White fatigue.
White. A lot of you look just like me, and it's bad.
And then my next one. Okay.
Simp fatigue.
Oh yeah, we could do so. I haven't done that. This will be off the dome.
All right, let's do simp fatigue.
Let me see if I can do it. I'm just gonna stick to the same one
Here
because
we
I
go.
play it better. You want to start?
Oh, sure.
Okay. I don't know where to start. I'm not good with music.
Sim fatigue. All these loser men giving women money. They don't like you. They never will. If your name is Greg, just realize that you're really plain. Stop giving women your money. They hate you.
Someone's got a wife, all of these hoes. Yeah, we all know. Simps have gotta do it. Someone's gotta go through it, 'cause these hoes are gonna hoe.
Hoes hoe it. Now they're in church. They're claiming to have seen the light. But when you're not looking, they're still Mike.
Freaking all night.
All night long. You're cooking with a spatula. You don't need to deep throat it. I know old habits die hard. Kayla, you're still a whore. That's her name, isn't it?
Who?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, somebody's gotta get Chad's leftover. Wait, somebody's gotta get Chad's leftovers.
It's gonna be a sin.
Yeah, he was abusive. Yeah, right. We don't believe you all night. But someone's gotta do it. Someone's gotta believe her. I'm running out of good little rhymes.
Someone's gotta take care of her mixed race child. And it's gonna be you, 'cause you never had a chance if she was single with no kids. She's gonna take your money,
Hoes are gonna hoe.
your house and your car.
Hoes are gonna hoe.
But she's still gonna leave you for Jamal.
Hoes are gonna hoe. Keep it on the low. Hoes are gonna hoe. Hoes are gonna hoe. And now the simps are coming in. Now the simps are coming in. They're coming in for the win. Now hoes are gonna hoe.
Hoeing it up. You're hoeing it up. You're hoeing it down. Ho.
Woo! Okay. That was actually decent.
That's about as good as I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that was decent. You said